Welcome back, everybody. Let's take a break for Stephen Shamus.
Good to see you, my friend. How's it going? We're nearing the end of the year, beginning of the new year.
The final countdown. Yes, we're close.
It's hard to believe it's 2023.
Where's the time gone?
It's crazy. All right, what do we got today, Alex?
Jumping into some indie stuff, and then a little bit of regular Marvel stuff. We're going to talk a little 8-Ball, which I think we might have mentioned in the past, but things are going absolutely crazy. A new one, Cheval Noir, an early Dark Horse book.
I like the way you say that. The way you say that.
Cheval Noir. That's my my French accent. I am originally I'm not from France. Moondragon, and then we're gonna wrap it with Planet of the Apes, Green Lantern, the crossover book.
I know it's hard. Book. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe the prices on those books. By the way, you're gonna be shocked.
Under ordered.
You're gonna be shocked totally. When you hear that. All right, what are we starting with, Alex?
Let's start with crazy Daniel Clowes and 8-Ball.
Yeah, talk to us a little bit about this story. For some reason, these first of all, there's 0 pops on a lot of books.
Yeah.
And the books have really gone up crazy, especially the raw books.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about 8-Ball and what's going on there.
Yeah, so it's 8-Ball's Daniel Clowes' comic, and it's a lot of short stories. A lot of short stories out of that spun into graphic novels. Velvet Glove Cast and Iron is a graphic novel, did really well. Ghost World, which is probably the biggest thing he's ever done. These are his original comics that the strips that spun into graphic novels that have spun into other media come from. So when you're talking about an independent comic like this, like 8-Ball, it's been around for a very, very long time. You're not going to be able to find copies everywhere. And especially like the first 5 issues were like, self-printed, and then Fantagraphics picked it up. Like, this stuff is extremely hard to find for something that people know. If you read comics, like, what Ghost World is. I mean, that's Scarlett Johansson's first movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this book, believe it or not, Alex, first came out in 1989. By the way, for some reason I remember this book. I don't know why.
You see Daniel Clowes stuff, it right off the bat.
Yeah, October of 1989. That's crazy. I'm sorry. It's August of 1989. Yeah.
Still early.
That is crazy. Okay, so we have got 8-Ball number 1, August of 1989. There are number 1, 6 9.8s, 13 9.6s, and 18 9.4s. Can't find them for sale. I think those are all in personal collections.
Yeah.
It's $100 to $125 raw. Daniel Clowes story, cover, and art. A file copy recently sold in a 9.6 for $1,000. Those are sold on Heritage Auction, so I assume Daniel Clowes solicited those.
Yeah. Yep.
Then the second print is only 1 9.8. It's about $100 raw. The next batch, 3rd print through 7th print, you can't find them raw. You can't find them graded. I bet you they would sell for a very, very pretty penny.
Yes. Find those.
Then 8-Ball number 2, 3, and 4. Heritage just sold file copies.
Jeez.
So 8-Ball number 2, February of 1990. It says 0 pop, so it must have just
finished.
Just hit the pop. So you can't really find those. A file copy sold for $600. 8-Ball number 3. June of 1990, 2 9.8s, $600 for a file copy. 8-Ball number 4, October of 1990, 4 9.8s, $600 for file copy. So,
jeez.
Look, I would look around for these books, try to find them. I mean, you could have a little bit of a treasure hunt on your hands there.
Yeah, old comic shops that have like an independent section. Like, I always think of like St. Mark's back in the day when you'd go in the back and they had all the indie books and they were just like stacks on stacks. Nobody was going through them. They were just sitting there in racks. Might find gold.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's hear your French, Alex.
Cheval Noir.
Cheval Noir. Beret. You need your beret. You need a beret.
And a long cigarette.
Another book from August of 1989.
Yeah. Another very.
Why is this book picking up so much?
Again, we talked about this in the past. It's the covers. It's the what's in the book and the covers. These are a bunch. This was an anthology series that Dark Horse did with a lot of like French and European artists before they were like super huge, stuff that you wouldn't find here only here. It was they would take it from Europe and bring it over. But like the first issue had like Dave Stevens covers. There was Jeff Darrow, early Jeff Darrow stuff. Mobius did a bunch of stuff in there, and these are just, when you're talking about independent comics from the 80s, like when Dark Horse first kind of exploded, these weren't super ordered. It was still a big superhero genre. And when you talk about independence, European comics weren't like popular then. It was, independent stuff like Aardvark Van Ham, who is Cerebus, Ninja Turtles, like properties. Those are property books. This is an anthology book. So there's not a lot of them in the wild.
Yeah. So Cheval Noir, number 1.
Nice.
From Dark Horse. August of 1989, 18, 9.8s. A 9.6 recently sold for $225. So 9.8 could be 500 plus. $25 to $35 raw, Dave Stevens cover. And you are correct. The prices don't go down from here. The prices are pretty much the same or more. Yeah. Issue number 2, October of 89, 2 9.8s. That's about a $25 raw book. That's a Jeff Darrow cover, like you said. Number 3, November of 89, 0 pop, $25 raw, Leo Duranona cover. Number 4, February of 1990, $50 raw. That's the John Bolton cover.
Yep.
Zero pop. Number 5, March of 90, 2 9.8s. That's about a $25 raw book, Mobius cover. Number 6 came out in April of 1990, 1 9.8. That's a $25 raw book with a Michael Kaluta cover. And then the final issue, number 7, came out in May of 90. There's actually 31 9.8s, and that book sold for $325 recently.
That's a big, again, Dave Stevens collector.
$325 is nothing to sneeze at for that.
No,
book.
Not at all.
Right. Okay. Alex's pick of the week. What do we got?
I want to talk about cassette tapes because I love them.
Guardians of the Galaxy?
kind of. I was looking around, and this is a little bit for you, but like, I'm a cassette guy because I just like stuff that you can't find anymore. Like, I like to go to like, what are they called? Like Goodwills and look through their old tape section, and anything that's recorded that's not like off the radio stuff. Like someone's like Brad's recital 10th grade. I snag those because it's stuff you'll never hear again. But I was just looking at stuff like Muppets and, kids cassettes were huge back in the day. And I was looking at like, oh, let me see, like, I used to like the Fraggle Rock tape and stuff. Like we talked about the Batman, where the book with the Batman tape was really expensive because it was the first Harley Quinn. And I started looking at some of these tapes, and like tapes are not cheap anymore. Like they're now in that, collectible world. Like
are they grading them? Are they grading?
I don't think they're grading them quite yet, but that is definitely on its way. Like you can get like a Fraggle Rock cassette tape, like book and cassette sealed. They're like $75. Like there's Muppet tapes that the music and the stuff that you don't really can't find anymore. It's like $30. Like all these tapes are like starting to come back because people threw them away once they moved to CDs. Stuff like tapes and everything just got thrown in the trash. Nobody really kept them. Yeah, exactly. So like, if you're sitting if you still got a box of cassette tapes in the basement, or your parents have it, some of that stuff's worth money. And it's like records. It's not that the Beatles records are the most expensive ones. It's the kitschy things like a Muppets or a small punk band from your hometown. Those are going to be worth money, and tapes are getting there.
Right. Okay, very cool.
Find your tapes, sell them.
All right, what do we got next, Alex?
We are heading back into the Marvel Universe, and we're going to talk a little Moondragon.
Yeah, any thoughts on this character?
I don't know why this is going crazy. I mean, Moondragon's been around forever. Again, anybody that has to do with Thanos usually kind of gets, picked up. This is a person that was a human who got, kind of like, I don't want to say like captured, but she got taken away from Earth and put onto this monastery, this alien monastery, and by Thanos's dad. And she's just kind of like this character that's been around in like the sci-fi or the what is it called? The space stuff for a long time. And anything that has to do with Thanos is gonna be hot. And Moondragon's been around for a while. She can, she puts her mind to, she excels in. So she's smart. And she's just been around forever. She's been around for a long time.
Definitely starting to pick up. So
Yeah.
Iron Man number 54, January of 73, 18 9.8s, 48 9.6s, 60 9.4s. A 9.4 just sold for $600. A 9.0 sold for $300. Yeah, 9.0 sold for $300. First appearance of Moondragon, Heather Douglas as Douglas as Madam McEvil, Iron Man vs. Submariner. Maybe that's part of it. Yep. Mike Friedrich story, George Tuska and Vince Coletta art with a Gil Kane cover. Then Daredevil number 105 in November of 73, 13 9.8s, 28 9.6s, 39 9.4s. A 9.8 recently sold for $1,100. Origin of Moondragon, Black Widow and Craven appearance, Dark Messiah, Angar, Ramrod, and Thanos cameos, Steve Gerber story, Jim Starlin, Don Heck, and Don Perlin art with a Heck, Esposito, and Romita Sr. cover. All right, what are we closing with tonight, Alex? You're going to be shocked. Go ahead.
Planet of the Apes, Green Lantern, the IDW DC collab book.
These books are going crazy. What is going on, Alex?
I honestly, maybe it's because it's some of the last Ethan Van Sciver Green Lantern stuff drawn. Maybe it's because it was mostly an IDW property. Like they were licensing it from DC, so it was really pushed by IDW, which means it wasn't ordered that high. I don't know. I mean, I bought the book. I love Planet of the Apes. That's one of my things. So I definitely own these. So I have to go through now. I have to go through and figure out which ones I'm going to flip.
Yeah, these are really, really tough. Okay, Planet of the Apes, Green Lantern number 1, Ethan Van Sciver cover, February of 2017. There are 32 9.8s. Very, very tough to find. But I think this is one of those books where it's cheap, raw, expensive, and high grade. So it's about a $5 raw book. Robbie Thompson and Justin Jordan story with Barnaby Bajenda art. David Ryan Robinson action figure variant cover. There are 31 9.8s. That's about a $10 raw book. The book that's very, very difficult to find is the Comics Pro edition, which you only get at the dealer meetings. Sapphire, it's called the Sapphire edition by Massafera, and there's 6 9.8s, but it's about a $50 raw book. You're going to be sick over the next one because you were probably there and you didn't pick it up, or you forgot to pick it up, and I'm going to yell at you again and make fun of you. Above. Gabriel Hardman, Emerald City Comic-Con edition, impossible to find. There's only one 9.8. Based on the prices of the other books, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a $250 plus book.
198.
Filippo Massafara 1 in 50 Virgin variant cover. There are 37 9.8s. That's almost a $200 raw book. Raw.
Jeez. That
means that the Emerald City Con one is probably worth even more.
Yeah. 198.
You were probably at the show. Alex.
I was at that show.
Okay. Did you buy the book or no?
No, I didn't buy the book.
Well, you told me you liked that Planet of the Apes.
I do. I have the cover A, but that doesn't mean anything in this world.
So you blew it. You blew it basically.
Story of my life.
Steve Morris 1 in 15 movie poster variant cover. 33 9.8s, about a $20 raw book, but that one's on the up and up. The George Perez variant cover, 31 9.8s. That's about a $10 raw book. The Revoche Classic 1 in 25 variant cover with a showcase number 22 homage, impossible to find. I would also suspect that that's a few $100s. That there are 36 9.8s. Can't find that one. And then the Elsa Charretier WonderCon edition, there's only one 9.8, impossible to find. So there are 4 or 5 versions that are impossible to find. And based on the raw prices on some of these books, I would expect them to be hundreds of dollars each.
Yeah. These aren't, and I don't know if you're going to be able to find the variants. Like the variants are things that were ordered because they ordered high. Not a lot of stores ordered high. Midtown, Mile High, My Comic Shop, sure, but not your local. They didn't order 25 copies of this book. It wasn't, nobody thought it would be a hit.
Nope. Yep. All right, that does it for this week. We thank you for joining us. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the field below, and we will see you all next week, same bat time,
same bat channel.